Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. We all got into XRP for a reason. I think it's safe to say. Some of us are speculating on price fluctuation through, the short term. If I bring up XRP right now, it's only trading at about 33.5 cents. Some people think, we are going to see a spike in price overnight. XRP will reach 3, 4, maybe even 5 digits. And thus we will all wake up and be millionaires, and maybe some of us even multimillionaires. And by following international finance and understanding, that an ISO, for example, an ISO 20022 standard is supposed to be begin to be implemented by the end of 2022, for example, leads us to believe that the things leading up to this are all going to connect to a new financial framework, put this on the backdrop of a world economy that is in free fall, not to mention sprinkle a little bit of World Economic Forum talk and powers that be theories in there. This all concocts a recipe that leaves us intrigued and leaves us questioning and longing for more. Well, today, guys, I think I have just the video for you, so put on your tinfoil hats. First of all, we've got the Ethereum Merge. So Ethereum, coincidentally, or maybe not so coincidentally, maybe this was the timeline. As we know, Vitalik Buterin hasn't really been great with timelines in the past. I don't know if you guys remember that video where he was joking about something occurring and him joking, yeah, it might take 5 years, maybe longer, and he just kind of said it as though it was nothing. And we were all kind of watching this video thinking to ourselves, is this guy for real? His timeline is quote unquote maybe 5 years or longer. Anyway, it looks as though the merge was on schedule. And as I mentioned in this morning's video, if you guys didn't catch this morning's video, I'll bring it up here in the top right hand corner for you. He does talk about, I did talk about this article, and I particularly talked about the migration and how Ethereum's power consumption was cut by 99%. And that this merge will reduce worldwide electricity consumption by 0.2%. Now, I don't think this is by coincidence. I think that there was a reason why this had to occur, especially if, certain elites want to use the Ethereum blockchain for certain purposes. My guess is that Vitalik was pressured to cut Ethereum's consumption, otherwise Ethereum would be dead in the water. An environmental push by the powers that be is obviously front and center with regards to crypto adoption globally. This is why, the cryptocurrency blockchains like the Stellar blockchain, the Algorand blockchain, and of course, the XRP blockchain are popular amongst the world elite talking points. This is another reason why organizations like the World Economic Forum have chosen particular blockchains and cryptocurrencies, have chosen to highlight certain coins in their reports that are also environmentally friendly, and I just named 3 of them, XRP, Algorand, and XLM. So we've got this Ethereum merge obviously playing into this narrative. Let's keep moving, guys. What else is happening in the world? Well, Liz Churchill here on Twitter posted this. And I don't know if you guys caught this. I haven't mentioned this on this channel, but it was kind of niggling in the back of my brain, and I thought I'd bring it up today. Why did the Pope, who's not a financial advisor, by the way, instruct all Vatican entities to move all funds to the Vatican Bank by the end of September? What does he know? The original JRB down here saying, I heard something big is to happen on September the 24th, 2022, and it is not just my birthday, perhaps shutting down the grid. So there's a lot of speculation going on about this date, these particular dates, 23, 24 of September, moving into the end of September, going into October. The date isn't really pinpointed, but, a lot of people are speculating. I've seen videos on TikTok, people talking about this. Tom Malloy here saying so they can forfeit all their funds at once for violating some executive orders, maybe. More money for Ukraine. So some people are, of course, just speculating. Moria down here saying collapse is imminent. My bank accounts are already collapsed, says Quapadopple down here on Twitter. Some are thinking that it is going to be a big cataclysmic event. I don't know if it's going to be financial markets. I don't know if financial markets are going to be connected to this big event or what. But what the Pope did say, and this was, I believe, at the end of August. Yeah, this was from August 23rd. He did say for all these entities to move their funds to Vatican Bank by September the 30th, which is only about 2 weeks away. Pope Francis has ordered that the Holy See and connected entities move all financial assets to the Institutional for Works of Religion, commonly known as the Vatican Bank. The Pope's rescript issued August 23rd clarifies the interpretation of the paragraph in the new constitution of the Roman Curia. According to Francis's rescript, financial and liquid assets held in the bank other than the IOR must be moved to the Vatican Bank within 30 days of September 1st, 2022. So why? He doesn't give a reason. He's just saying, let's move all these assets over, and that's it. That's it. That's what he's saying. Okay, interesting. And then, as you guys know, last week, Queen Elizabeth II died. And ceremonies are still going on with regards to the Queen. We're getting updates daily, even though it has been a week. Updates actually rather by the hour. Queen Elizabeth's death and funeral, and this was updated by CNN just 8 hours ago. The Guardian down here posting this, how is Queen Elizabeth's death in Britain now seen from abroad? Posted 36 minutes ago. So, I mean, of course, Queen Elizabeth, a very prominent figure. And, recently I did a video about Queen Elizabeth II and her death, and could it possibly be the beginning of a new financial era? There was some evidence suggesting that it could. And so that is just one part of this bigger picture video that I'm recording right now. And if you guys didn't catch that video, I go into that in a little more detail, and I will link that video up here in the top right-hand corner. The interesting point in that video that I'd like to mention was this quote here. A prophecy that was written in the, 1500s? By this man here, okay? And this book was originally published by Mario Redding back in 2006. So, up here, and I read this before, this quatrain will come as no surprise to the British people, and it has wide implications. The first is that Queen Elizabeth will die circa 2022 at the age of around 96, 5 years short of her mother's term of life. Prince Charles will be crowned in her seated and become king of the islands. The implication here being that he is no longer king of other regions in the world over which his mother reigned, like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc., which will have in the interim become republics. But Prince Charles will be 74 years old in 2022 when he takes over the throne. But the resentments held against him by a certain proportion of the British population following his divorce from Diana, Prince of Wales, still persist. The pressure on him is so great, and his age so much against him, that Charles agrees to abdicate in favor of his son. And then the question is, which son? For the last line, he makes a prediction clear that a man will replace him, but never expected to be king. So does that mean it could be Prince Harry? And news outlets have been picking up on this. King Charles III to abdicate, this unexpected royal to rule instead. So, this is again from the New York Post here, publishing this just today. Another article suggesting exactly just what I read here, that, another king will likely succeed him very quickly, but it won't be the king who we think. It will not be William. Could it be Harry? All things that make you go, And again, the question is why? Why not William, who is supposed to be the natural successor to the throne? Why not William and Harry instead? Or is it even going to be Harry? Who knows? Obviously, if this does happen, we don't know the reason why. Okay, I'm just trying to piece this together slowly but surely. Okay, is something supposed to happen on September 24th? I did a Google search, came up with this. This was posted 5 hours ago. On Google, the Global Crisis USA online conference on September the 24th, 2022 will be an historic moment for Americans. So I looked at this, and this just seems to be a conference. There is a threat of economic collapse. Okay, but this is how it starts off. There's a threat of economic collapse and social collapse. We are paralyzed by secrets and agendas unfolding before our very eyes. Our world needs to stop hating us, and we need to stop hating each other. Polarization, separation, hunger promises, extreme inflation, and climate crises can't destroy our cities. Americans want a solution and a way out. The American dream is a creative society, and is why Global Crisis USA conference will take place on September the 24th. So this is just a conference basically going to be taking place, talking about, coincidentally enough, these issues that I'm mentioning today. The American dream is for every citizen to have access to all of their basic needs without exception. Everyone must have access to food, housing, high-quality healthcare, and education. Having a stable job, a debt-free life, and plenty of money is what every American should have, so that they do not have to worry about tomorrow. Yet we're all thinking about tomorrow and what tomorrow will bring. So again, this is just a conference, coincidentally, about the things that I'm talking about being held on coincidentally the day that I'm talking about it. So I found that kind of interesting. But then there are some other things, guys, that got me thinking, like the U.S. passenger railroad Amtrak, and how they're canceling all long-distance trains starting tomorrow, September the 15th. So why are they doing that? This is an article just from Reuters here. They say they're canceling all of their long-distance trains, and at first I was like, that's kind of interesting. But it looks like they're doing this because of a labor dispute. Michael Branch also just bringing this up. A long-anticipated freight rail worker strike could begin as early as Friday morning. That could debilitate the U.S. economy if allowed to persist. So the surface reason is a labor dispute, but what does that really mean? What does a labor dispute really mean to us and freight trains not being able to transfer goods across the country? Freight rail workers want to strike for sick and guaranteed pay leave time, a move that would consequently force freight rail companies to hire adequate staff, and the companies refuse. So long anticipated freight rail workers strike could begin as early as Friday morning. That could debilitate the U.S. economy if allowed to persist. The rhetoric and posturing on both sides is heating up, with railroads beginning to enforce restrictions on hazardous material shipments, which two major unions decried as corporate extortion, as it will put pressure on Congress to intervene. Shipping trade groups, who are railroad customers, warn any disruption in freight rail service will negatively impact our nation's international competitiveness while making inflation even worse, which is affecting all Americans. So, of course, this trickles down into the economy, making inflation worse. People suffer more. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce likewise said that the strike could be an economic disaster. Commuter railroads outside the Northeast Corridor are also expecting disruptions and shortages because they run on tracks owned and operated by freight companies. Amtrak is also canceling some routes. So, with regards to the Amtrak service disruption, they're saying the unions cannot agree on specific terms. However, what are the real implications of this? Well, they said it here in the article. Service disruptions, there's already supply chain issues, there's already inflation problems. So this is only going to make life worse. And yet they are not thinking about the greater good. It sounds as though this is going to be a union worker strike of Amtrak operators. So digest that as you will. What it does result in is obviously not great for the economy, the American economy in particular, the biggest economy, coincidentally, in the world. Okay, so what else do we have, guys? And so I'm going to bring this up again, the Shemitah 7 years. What is coming next? And I recently did a video about Shemitah a few months ago, actually. And I'll link it up here in the top right-hand corner if you guys want to get some more information about that. So I'm not going to go into what Shemitah is specifically, but every 7 years, I mean, in a nutshell, every 7 years, something drastic happens, okay? So just going through this, from 1901 to 1902, 46% U.S. stock market value wiped out. From 16 to 17, 40% U.S. stock market value wiped out, multiple world empires collapse. Britain is nearly bankrupt, and USA's rise to world power. From 1930 to 31, 86% of U.S. stock market value wiped out, and then we had the Great Depression. 37 to 38, 50% of U.S. stock market value wiped out for a global recession. Then 44 to 45, obviously the end of the Third Reich and Britain's hold on territories like Israel. USA now a world superpower, US dollar becomes the global reserve currency. 65 to 66, 23% stock market value wiped out. 72 to 73, 48% US stock value market wiped out. Global recession, US legalizes abortion. The US lost in Vietnam, and there is a US oil crisis. 79 to 80. U.S. and global recession, 86 to 87. Black Tuesday, 33% of the U.S. stock market value wiped out. You guys can see a trend here. 93 to 94, the bond market crash, DJIA bear market. And then 2000 to 2001, 37% of the U.S. stock market value was wiped out. Dow Jones was down by 700 points on the last day of Shemitah, 9/11 Twin Tower attack and global recession, continuation of the dot-com bubble. 2007 to 2008, okay? 50% of the U.S. stock market value wiped out. Dow Jones down 777.7 points on the last day of Shemitah. Lehman Brothers scandal, housing crash. Then we have 2014, 2015, market correction, Greek and UE bailout. Oil dropped by 33%. The Dow dropped 1,000 points. ETFs dropped 43%, and China devalued the yuan. And now we're 7 years later. What is going to happen in 2021 and 2022? So again, guys, if you didn't catch the video I did originally on Shemitah, I did it a few months ago. I did link it up there in the top right-hand corner for you. And then there's nature, and nature never lies. This from Elaine Ben Moha here in about 24 hours. Look at all these crocodiles. What the heck is going on in South America?
Bothers me more than what it is that they all know something we don't know.
Yeah, right.
Like that,
We're supposed to know
that
stuff.
bothers me. It bothers me that they all know something, and I don't know, you don't know, they all do. That there's look at how many of them are there. It's not just like 4 or 5.
We're going to find out what they know in about 24
That's what I'm
hours.
concerned about.
Get out of Brazil.
The vibes have been off today, I think.
I think they have.
I've had bad vibes today.
In Brazil, these crocodiles are all up on shore. something that, we have never seen before ever. And usually what this means, okay, first of all, crocodiles are prehistoric animals. They have been around since the dinosaur age. And they're saying, look, we're getting out of the water. We're going up on shore. This is very uncharacteristic of crocodiles. And animals, they can sense things. They sense when storms are coming. They sense when there is danger afoot. This is how they have survived for so many years, especially crocodiles who have been around since a prehistoric era. So is this pointing to something that we should be paying attention to? Now, again, for fun, kind of, but also wanted to point it out. Why is spam being locked up in tamper-proof containers at Walmart? Seriously, it's only $2.92. Wall Street Silver here saying, does this mean the depression is confirmed? So in other words, are people going to be looting grocery stores? Are there going to be riots? Are people going to be ransacking all these types of stores for supplies? And is meat, packaged meat or canned meat, is this going to be a commodity? And does Walmart already know about this? Things that make you go, Because, usually, quite frankly, I think we've all been to these stores, and, when supplies are expensive, like razor blades, I think is a good example of this. We see them locked up behind the counter under lock and key, or in these types of tamper-proof cases. Even if you go into Walmart, the really expensive video games, the new releases, they're also in these tamper-proof cases or behind lock and key. But we've got spam here, spam of all things, a $3 product under lock and key, things that make you go, And if I'm not mistaken, this is from a Walmart, so a big conglomerate that does business around the world. So I'm sure their CEOs, their higher ups, likely know what the heck is going on here. I also saw this from Area's List. Now, guys, this is a real mind-blowing tweet, okay? Bringing us back to the dates, September 23rd, September 24th, Sky Event Comms. What? Here is a list of some TV shows and movies that have pointed to the date. September 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, somewhere in and around there. Let me just go through them for you. Okay, Third Rock from the Sun. I don't know if you guys remember that. A meteor is scheduled to hit a planet in September of 2015. Big Bang Theory, an asteroid strike on September 23rd. The movie Volcano. 9/23 next to the cross in the movie, an asteroid hits Earth on 9/23. Movie. Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. An asteroid strikes on September 22nd, 23rd, which ends the world. Movie, Julia and Julia. September 23rd, a meteor striking the Earth. Movie, Deep Impact, starring Morgan Freeman. He says the asteroid would strike September 22nd. Lotto numbers are 923. Movie, Evan Almighty, starring Steve Carell. The date of the flood is September 22nd. Guys, it keeps going on. Movie, Knowing, the date of September 22nd and 23rd, the Earth is destroyed by a solar flare. Movie, Little Shop of Horrors, September 23rd, an event that will encounter a deadly treat to humans' existence. Movie, Tomorrowland, disaster strikes on the 23rd. TV NCIS, Last Man Standing was the episode. Do they know 9/23? No. Movie, 23, Jim Carrey mentions the date September 23rd as the day that hell arrives. TV, Sleeping Hollow, September 23rd, A New Dimension is opening. Ghostbusters, The Evil is released on September 23rd. Seth Rogen paparazzi video. Recorder says that 9/23, The Rapture happens. Movie, Pandemic hits the East Coast, 9/23. Guys, it keeps going on here. Movie, Labyrinth, Evil consumes the world at 9/23. Movie, Lost, plane crashes on a remote island, September 22nd. Movie, Castaway, starring Tom Hanks. Driver's License of Dead Pilot says 9/23. Taco Bell commercial, escaping a concentration camp on 9/23. Guinness Bear commercial, if you keep an open eye, you'll discover dark secrets. Stopwatch stops at 9/23. In Gone Girl, September 23rd is used twice, depicting the date of the disappearance. Video, Florence and the Machine, We Will Drag Bodies to the Ground, watch stops at 9/23. Video, Call 23, 9/23 is in the video 9 times. Video, Rihanna, called 7/11, the Jewish calendar, is 9/24. Her latest video has 9/23 on license plates. And then down here, video, Black Eyed Peas, calendar of the month of someday, with 23rd of September. Video, Tainted Love, an asteroid hits Earth, and then they show the horoscope with the date 9/23. Drake's album, Nothing Was the Same, released on 9/23 with pics of shirts with this on it. I don't have the pictures up here, but I'm sure you can imagine. Song by Israel Vibrations. September 24th is mentioned as the Great Tribulation, fulfillment of holy prophecy. TV Heroes Were Born, persecution of the church begins 9/23. In the video game Resident Evil, the invasion begins 9/23. Illuminati card game has 3 cards, including the asteroid card, which 923 is on it 9 times. And the TV show One Foot in the Grave from 1990, 923, the day of the Lord shall be upon you. Now, we also know, guys, Hollywood is deeply connected to the powers that be. So are they sending us a message? Are they trying to be cute because there is something planned in and around this time? Now, I know it spans from September 22nd to September 24th, spans in and around this time. And could it be a world-changing event that not only will change the world, but will change the economy? Well, guys, finally, I saw this. This was brought to me by Ant1 on Twitter. It was also reiterated by Dawdler for XRP on Twitter. But the original tweet was from Merlin Crypto Future Invest here, okay? Like a phoenix out of the ashes, XRP and XLM will rise, backed up by gold, which is XRP, and XLM Stellar. Now, the guy being interviewed here, this is Greg Brown, also known as Quantum Brownie. And he does a podcast. He shares his intel about what is going on with QFS, or Quantum Financial Systems. And here's what he had to say about XRP, XLM, a new financial reset. Listen to this.
Go zero. Now, how do you account for XRP and XLM then? Wouldn't they be licensed by gold?
To zero. Everything will go to zero. It's a cyber crash. So the White House will crash everything, including the stock markets, everything. In this event, everything goes to zero. But like a phoenix rising out of the ashes, gold and silver will revalue along with XRP and XLM. So XRP is backing gold, and XLM is backing silver. So after the event, what has value is gold and silver, XRP and XLM, and the other ISO 2.2 coins. They'll have massive value, and so will the assets on Lobster. So essentially, you talked about BlackRock. I own lots of BlackRock. I own lots of Vanguard. I own lots of well-known companies because all those companies have had their assets seized, and they're laying them out as tokens on the Stellar network. And if it wasn't true, then all these big companies would be up in arms and saying it's a lie. It's not true. No one is. I mean, I own a lot of BHP, a lot of mining companies. One, because that's going to be huge after the event as we rebuild, but you don't see any mining company, saying it's not true. So that tells you everything you need to know. So this is definitely seized assets, and people are positioning themselves. Those who are awake, those who understand and resonate with it, they're positioning themselves so that they can take advantage of the wealth transference. But it's not a greed mentality. You've got to get this right. If you come into this with a greed mentality, you're going to do some silly things. This is about the wealth transference. I've always said to people that if you invest $500 worth of XLM into these seized assets, you're going to set yourself up for life. $1,000 worth of XLM will set up you and your generations.
Everything will go to zero was how he started this clip off, okay? Even XRP and XLM, gold, silver, everything. But then there will be a revaluation of gold and silver, and a reevaluation of XRP and XLM. And what he says is XRP is going to be valued to gold, XLM to silver. And guys, this is going to be a cataclysmic crash, of course, a great financial reset. And if you guys notice here,
and XLM.
Notice the date here. This is relatively brand new from only about 2 weeks ago. So is Quantum Brownie prophesizing what is going to happen in a month, 6 weeks, 2 months? We don't really know. But as we're going through some of the signs here, I don't know, guys. It looks as though the writing is on the wall, and it looks as though this may be coming sooner than we think. All I have to say now is just be prepared, guys. Keep your XRP and XLM, if you have it, safe on a cold storage device like a Ledger Nano or similar. I have an affiliate link in the description. You can use it if you want. You do not have to use it, though. And, I would actually store up on physical gold and silver, too. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.